Hi everyone, it's Yancy the OT again. And today we're gonna work on something really fun that we can do with our preschoolers while we're working on our grasp. Now, if you remember how we discussed the functional and non-functional, the mature versus non-mature grasp, if you don't remember that, you can go back into my YouTube channel and you can check out that video about the mature grasp. Remember, it can be 3-finger, 4-finger grasp, doesn't matter, as long as we're using our finger muscles and our web space is open and stable. Now remember, static means I'm using my whole hand to color, right? Or my whole arm sometimes with some of our preschoolers. Dynamic means I'm flexing. I'm bending my finger joints as I write. So I'm using finger muscles to write and not my whole hand. So I'm using smaller muscles to write. So I'm gonna be able to write more when I'm a 3rd grader or 4th grader and get tired less. And that's our goal with some of our elementary students. But we need to start working on their grasp at preschool. Remember, 3-finger, 4-finger, and we want those finger joints to bend and that web space to be open so it's stable. Now, a really fun activity that we can do with this. You need a strip of paper, regular strip of paper. Our goal is to pick 4 simple colors and do this. Now, you can do this for your child or you can have them do it to work on their finger bending skills. And how do we do that? All you wanna do, you wanna make sure you make 4 circles, just 4. You can, I call them bubbles when I work with them. First one could be red. And when you have them color it, you want them to do like this. You want them to just scribble circular scribbling to fill it out. And if you notice my fingers, I'm bending my fingers to do this. It's really hard because if they're gonna use all their arm as a whole or their hand as a whole to color it in, it's gonna be big circles and we really want them to be smaller, medium circles. You got red. And then you keep coloring them all each. Those 4 basic colors. In my case, I picked red, blue, yellow, and green. But remember, you can have your child do this so they can work on their finger bending. Now, what are we gonna do with this? We're gonna work on web space stability with an exercise, a finger exercise they're gonna love. Now, our Mr. Thumpkin, he's gonna be the main character. So you can, if they let you draw on their finger, draw on their finger. If not, it's not a big deal. But I got this from one of my cool besties. Her name is Gracie. She gave me this idea. You can make a happy face for Mr. Thumpkin. Now, for the other fingers, you're gonna need these colors. And you don't wanna do it in the same order you did it in the paper. You wanna change the order up a little bit. So I might do, if they let you color on their finger, Mr. Pointer is gonna be green. Now, if they don't let you color on their finger, there is no problem. You can cut a piece of pipe cleaner and make it into a ring for that finger. The next one is gonna be, I'm gonna make my tall finger yellow. Yellow, and if they don't let me color their finger, I can use a pipe cleaner as a ring. My ring finger, I'm gonna make my ring finger red. Again, if they don't let me color my finger or paint my finger red, I can use a pipe cleaner as a ring. And my last one, my pinky, blue. If not, I can use my pipe cleaner ring. Got Mr. Thumpkin and my 4 fingers. Now, remember the 4 circles we did? You wanna start off by cutting them individually to make it easier for them. You're gonna show your child a color and he's gonna have Mr. Thumpkin tap that color. Yellow. When you show him red, Mr. Thumpkin's gonna tap red. When you show him green, or her, Mr. Thumpkin's gonna tap green. You show him blue, Mr. Thumpkin's gonna tap blue. And then give him, Mr. Thumpkin, another thumbs up. You can even do thumbs high 5. Now this is really important. You think it's silly, but this really works on that web space stability and finger opposition. A lot of our students can do this, but they have a hard time actually going to the tall finger, and ring finger. It's a nice fun activity. Now, once they're pros at this, because this really works on their eye-hand coordination, they have to look at the color you're showing them, and then they have to look at their hand and eye-hand coordinate what finger they're gonna do finger opposition with Mr. Thumpkin, because this is called finger opposition. Now, You can use a strip if you want to work on patterns also. If it's always do left to right, because you want to work on those pre-reading skills, then the child can do right here so you guys can see. Red, blue, yellow, green. Red, blue, yellow, green. And if you want to make it harder, you can switch up the rings. So this is a nice finger warm-up to work on the finger bending skills, finger opposition for web space stability for a good mature grasp. Now, let's get into how we can also integrate this into pre-writing, like writing the letters in our name. Now, we're gonna do what I call bubble letters. An example of a bubble letter is this, letter D. Now, remember, you don't have to be perfect. I'm gonna do letter Y for Miss Yancey. And they don't have to be perfect. You can make them bigger, smaller. If they have a hard time, just make them a little bit bigger for them. Letter Y. Now they can use any finger they want. I mean, any letter they want and any color they want. And if you notice when I'm coloring, do you see my finger joints bending? They're just gonna fill in the bubbles. The more they do this, the more practice they get at this, you'll see how the circles will get smaller, and you'll see those finger joints will actually start bending, which tells you that dynamic, mature grasp is emerging and coming along, and that's what we want to see. So the more they do these bubbles, the more you're going to see their finger joints bending. That's why. And you can make it even more fun if you want to say, let's just connect the dots. This is a fun way to work on color, finger opposition, web space stability, and on pre-writing skills. Like I said, you can do any letter, and you can grade the circles. If you have a child who really has a hard time making the little circles that I was making, you can make them bigger for them. You can actually say, I'm gonna make, an X. And you can make those bubbles as big as you want them to be so they can be successful. And all they have to do is circular scribble to color the bubbles in. And we're working on bending those fingers in my grasp so I can start developing a nice dynamic grasp. Work on this week, guys. Have fun. You can do this. If you want, you can even do it in the sidewalk if it's really nice outside. With sidewalk chalk, you can make the letters or shapes with the bubbles, and you can use a wet sponge. Squeeze it, get all that water out, and then you can actually fill in the circles with water, the wet sponge. All right, guys, have fun. Work on these finger skills because you're going to need them when you get into elementary and you start working on a lot of writing. All right, have fun, guys. Bye-bye.